In this video, I'm going to teach you how to actually get recruited in 2025 without listening to advice from people that got recruited before the transfer portal even existed. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to market yourself as a player, get in touch with coaches, and get those offers that you've been working for. Just so I'm not wasting anybody's time, this video is only for guys that are extremely serious about their careers and want to play at the next level. So if you're not that serious about your baseball career and you're not sure if you want to play at the next level, this video is definitely not for you and you should click away right now. But if you are serious about getting more offers and playing at the next level, then you're going to want to stick around to the very end of this video because I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that we use with our guys to get them offers to their best fit school. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you're not getting enough attention or offers from the schools that you actually want to go to. You've probably been relying on your coaches to help you, but you don't see a ton of progress being made. Being patient and waiting for the season to get offers, posting randomly on Twitter, sending mass emails, high school guys probably getting a ton of camp invites and showcases, or the worst one yet, thinking that offers are just gonna come and fall in your lap. Here's the reality. None of that works anymore. The reason that doesn't work anymore is because that's what everyone else is doing and coaches see the same thing every single day. As a player today in any level, you can no longer rely on your coach to be the one to get you recruited. The reason that is not because your coach is a bad guy. It's not because he doesn't want to see you succeed. Reality is that recruiting has gotten a lot more difficult, so it requires a lot more effort. Now, that effort has to start with you because at the end of the day, it's your career. In my program, we completely eliminate the trial and error. Instead, we focus on putting together a game plan that's going to maximize your exposure, get you in contact with coaches, and then we turn that communication into offers for all of our guys. So by now you're probably asking yourself, who is this guy and how do I know the stuff even works? Well, let me show you. My name is Omar Almodovar and I finished my playing career at the Division I level in 2023. Since then, I started Elite Recruits right away as a way to help baseball players go through the recruiting process with the same help that I wish I had when I was playing. In just over a year and a half, I've been fortunate enough to place over 200 players in colleges all across the country in all different levels. So right here, we see just some of the guys that have gone through this process, all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, trusted the same strategies to help them get to where they are now. We see schools here, some of the biggest schools in the country like Georgia Tech, really high academic schools like Villanova, Georgetown, Penn State, Minnesota, even where I went to school, High Point University, Texas A&M, probably one of the biggest schools in the entire country, guys even all the way in the West Coast, and just guys from all different backgrounds that had different struggles, but by inputting the right game plan, they were able to get to the right schools for them. Now, what are these guys actually saying? Well, this is Sid Polston, one of our guys from California, who ended up going to Campbell. I entered summer with minimal interest from D1 schools, and I was running out of time to get signed. Elite Recruits immediately helped me get my name out to coaches, skyrocketing the interest in me. By the end of that same week, I received interest from schools that I thought were impossible in just a short time. I highly recommend Elite Recruits to anyone who wants a leg up in their recruiting journey. This is another one of our guys. He's actually from Minnesota. Sam ended up coming down to South Florida to probably one of the best Division II programs in the entire country. Now, these two guys are actually really cool stories. They're two completely different journeys. One is a junior college guy, one is a high school guy. Both of them from Texas that they had different struggles and needed help. Elite Recruits truly has been the best thing to happen to my baseball career. I honestly believe that I would not have gotten the opportunity to play Division I baseball without the assistance from Omar and the group of people that work behind the scenes. Now, this guy right here, Alec, Elite Recruits really paved a new path for me in the recruiting process. Instead of spending hours emailing coaches, I had college coaches reaching out to me. Even though it was late in my senior year, he was in high school, and didn't know if I would get to play this game at the next level, they helped get eyes on me and showed me opportunities I had never seen. Now I get to live my dream of playing Division I baseball. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know these are real people and what's going on? I get it. In this day and age of social media, you have to be really careful. So I encourage you guys, if you're watching this video, feel more than welcome to find these guys on Instagram, Twitter, and reach out to them. Even if you want their phone numbers, reach out to me and I'm more than happy to get you in contact with these guys. And I know that they're more than happy to talk about their experiences working with me. And as you can see it right here as well. So now, how did I even get to this point? Well, here's my story and my journey. I grew up in the Dominican Republic and I moved to Miami when I was younger. And my entire life, my goal was to play in MLB. And before that was to play Division I baseball. But unfortunately for me, the recruiting process in high school was always very difficult. I didn't really have any guidance and I didn't know what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. In turn, I started trying a lot. And by trying a lot, I started failing a lot. So I call it trial and error, right? I was really guessing at that point, but I was sending random emails to coaches, hoping that would work. I ended up going to one showcase, which in my opinion, ended up being the biggest waste of time and money ever. It was one perfect game showcase. All I received after that was a number grade of 7, which we all know is not very good, average at best, and there wasn't even coaches there to really evaluate me, so it felt like a waste of time. I went back to trial and error and figuring out what to do. I had one offer coming out of high school, and it was to a junior college in the absolute middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. So I took it and ran with it, and let me tell you guys right now, this is the best thing that could have ever happened for my career. So two things happened. Well, a couple things happened while I was here. The first thing was that I grew physically and mentally, naturally by being in a college program. But then the two things that followed are what really changed my life. The first thing being 2020, the pandemic, 14 games into the season, we get to go home and everything is over. The whole world changes as we know it to now, but recruiting really changed. So coaches were no longer going to be allowed to come see us play in person because of quarantine and different things. So we had to figure out different ways to get recruited. Well, Twitter became a thing, and I really started to get my name out there. I started, posting videos. I was one of those first guys on Twitter, and I realized quickly that it started working. So sophomore year of JUCO, during the fall, I'm posting a lot of videos, talking to a lot of different programs. Get to the spring, and after only 10 at-bats, I completely rupture and tear my right hamstring, and I missed the rest of my season. Now, that could have been it for me had I not been getting my name out there and implementing the right game plan that I figured out over time. Because of that, I was still able to get a full ride scholarship to a top 25 Division II program at the time in Savannah State. It was a lot closer to home. And this is where I really started to enjoy my career here. I had 2 very successful years here. We won a ton and got to play in front of a lot of people, signed some autographs. And I was really learning how to get myself to the next level at this point. And with that, I graduated from Savannah State and I got the opportunity to play in probably one of the best summer collegiate teams in the entire country, the Vermont Lake Monsters. Here, it was probably one of the best experiences I had playing baseball. I was playing in front of 5, 6, 7,000 people each night. Again, signing more autographs, kids asking for bats, and really playing meaningful baseball. Through this opportunity, I got the opportunity to transfer as a graduate student and get my master's from High Point University, and I accomplished my dream of playing Division I baseball. Now, here was such a cool experience. I want to give a special shout out to the entire coaching staff at High Point. They're running a phenomenal program and just came off a great season. And this is where I really learned what I wanted to do next. And that was help guys get to where I got to, because I knew for me it wasn't a very easy road. And that's my journey, guys. Now I'm here all the way from a grade 7 to the middle of nowhere to starting to get some action, really enjoying my experience and feeling like I was playing professional baseball, to then playing at a high level like I always wanted to. And now is that I help guys get to the next level just how I needed that help. Enough about me. Now let's talk about you. How do I get recruited? How do you get yourself out there? How do you get recruited the right way? But it comes down to 3 simple steps. So the first one and the most important one is having a game plan and having guidance. Well, why are both of these super important? Number one, A lot of guys, they never put together a game plan and they just start trying stuff out. Well, they'll start sending random emails or start, posting random videos. They'll start going to random showcases. And without a game plan, you really don't know what the target is and what you should or shouldn't be doing, right? The guidance. Why is guidance important? Well, have you ever driven somewhere that you've never been to before without a GPS? Maybe once or twice, but normally you wouldn't do that a ton because you would make the wrong turns and you would get lost, right? Well, the recruiting process is the same exact way. You're trying to get somewhere, more than likely trying to get somewhere that you've never been to before. Well, why would you try to get there without a GPS, without guidance? You're more than likely to make the wrong turns and end up where you shouldn't be at or not end up getting there at all. And so guidance is extremely important. Now, what does having the right game plan and guidance look like? Well, these are some of our guys again and some of the messages that I get from guys. $24,000. That's life-changing money for players and family if they can get an offer like that. I've been having a ton of schools reach out since the video. Can't thank you anymore. Another player right here getting a full ride scholarship. This is a player's mom reaching out. Hi, Omar. This is Shannon, John K's mom. First, I wanted to say thank you for getting John out there to so many coaches. It's been so exciting to see many doors open for him. We can't wait to see where he ends up. This is a guy that before joining the program, he wasn't even talking to any schools, and it was a very talented player, just didn't know what he should be doing. Another player right here, through the right marketing strategy, close to 100 coaches have followed me since the original post. How many camps or showcases would you have to go to just be followed by 100 coaches? This guy right here, sounds good. I appreciate you putting in work for me. Definitely the most coaches I've had contact me over a short period of time like this. Coach just got a $20,000 scholarship offer, 24,000 views in a day. It's so crazy. I've got tons of follows and messages from coaches all over. This is what having the right game plan and guidance turns into for a lot of guys in the recruiting process. Number 2, super important, is maximizing exposure. You're only going to get as many opportunities as people know about you. So exposure is extremely important. Now, how do you get exposure? You have to have the right marketing strategy. The right marketing strategy is what this looks like for our guys. So this is a right-handed pitcher from California. 93,000 views on his video, almost 100,000 views in a video. And this was a 13-second video. His recruiting process completely changed. We have another player right here. His video at 30,000 views. You're going to see him again in a second. He ended up signing to a great Division I program, and now he's playing against some of the best schools in the entire country. Very important. How do we maximize exposure? Well, we can go to camps and showcases, which for a lot of guys is not the best method because you're trying to stand out next to a ton of other guys and you're trying to compete in front of coaches that might not even have a need at your position. Or you can get quality video, which is one of the most important things in recruiting today. These are some of the examples. So this is one of our right-handed pitchers that ended up signing to a Division I school. He had a ton of attention. This is another one of our players. Now, your video doesn't have to be as fancy as this with all the metrics. If you have that, even better, but it's not necessary. This is actually me during my playing career and some of the videos that I would take from different angles. How do you get quality video? Extremely simple. I recommend all baseball players make an investment of $9.99 on Amazon and buy yourself a tripod. A tripod is going to be a game changer when it comes to your recruiting process because you're going to be able to get videos of yourself. And the more video you have available, the more opportunities that you're going to be able to present yourself when it comes to getting recruited by coaches that might not necessarily be coming to see you play in person. Now, this is what some of these guys' marketing strategy has turned into. So this is John, who you saw earlier in that 10-second video. Just committed, man. Thank you so much for all you've done for me. Seriously, gained so much notice and buzz from you guys. He's at Eastern Michigan right now, Division I program, playing against University of Michigan in the fall and just enjoying his time there. This is Oliver Barkall, another one of our players. He offered me a ton of money, and the coach seems awesome there. He ended up signing to Merrimack College, and I checked in with him. He's absolutely loving it there and is going to be in their starting rotation. Omar and everyone at Elite Recruits really helped guide me through the recruiting process by getting me over 60,000 views on Twitter. Omar opened up the doors to numerous opportunities for me to play at the next level. Elite Recruits is by far the best recruiting service I've worked with, and I highly recommend them to anyone that is serious about finding the right school. The number 3 step, and very important as well, is proper communication with these coaches. Now, what a lot of guys don't understand is that there's 2 different methods to go about this. There's inbound, which is the best way to get contacted by coaches. That's when the coaches come to you. Now, how do we get inbound? Well, by having quality video, right? By having a marketing strategy and putting yourself out there for them to see you. And if they're interested, they'll come to you. And when they come to you, more likely than not, that's serious interest versus you reaching out randomly, hoping for an opportunity. Now, there's a different way to get in touch with coaches, and that's what most guys rely on, which is outbound. Now, there's different ways to have success in outbound, right? So you reaching out to the coaches. What most guys do is email. Guess what? So does everybody else. And that's why emails get the lowest response rate. With our guys, we actually use a strategy of reaching out directly through Twitter because it has a much higher response rate and you're able to talk to more coaches. Now, the highest success rate when it comes to getting in touch with coaches is by having a reputable advising team, right? So if you have a coach that has a ton of connections, or if you're working with somebody directly. Now, when you're relying on your coach, like we talked about earlier in the video, you're making it really difficult because they also have things to worry about, right? So you have to take it into your own hands, and that's by implementing these little things. Reputable advising team is going to always be the highest success rate when it comes to getting in touch with coaches. So where most players and families usually go wrong in the recruiting process, and you, the player, ultimately fall very short of your potential and everything you've always worked for, is by not focusing on what actually helps you get recruited today, instead using techniques that might have worked 5 or 10 years ago that don't work in today's recruiting world, which is completely different than even 5 years ago. What we do at Elite Recruits is completely eliminate all the trial and error from the very beginning and put together a game plan that's actually going to work for you based on your goals and what you're looking for. A lot of talented players and families come to us unsure if they really need help with the recruiting process